I basically had to go to court, and my case was decided in my favor even by the Supreme Court of Pakistan, but PIA has still not taken any action.
We are here today with Rifat Haye. She is one of the first three female pilots for our national carrier, which is Pakistan International Airlines. She got her license in 1989 and she started her flying career in 1990. What is amazing is that she actually did this after she had her 3 children. Asma Jan is the eldest, and she went to college in Wellesley for her undergrad. Then she went and did her masters at Columbia University, both very prestigious colleges. Currently, Asma has just ventured into cycling. She has been, in just 3 months, managed to win a cycling competition for the women's 40-kilometer race. Something that I think she's inherited these genes from her grandfather, Hanana, who was going to actually enter into the Olympics, but because of I think the war situation, it didn't happen. Currently, she's a life coach, and she will tell you more about that in a later segment.
So when I was in college, we were invited to Risalpur by the PAF on a declamation contest, and for 2 years our team was participating in that declamation contest, and I went twice, and it was just too inspiring, and I was just kind of in awe of our Pakistan Air Force officers and the kind of treatment they gave us. Then we got to see the planes, we got to see everything, and I think that was my main inspiration, came from there. But basically, you know, the best thing was that my children were kind of grown up, they weren't too small. Like Asma was 14 years old, and I was just learning to fly as a hobby. Basically, I would go to the flying club and take lessons, flying lessons in the flying club. But my instructors they said that you have a lot of aptitude and you'll do very well if you can take this up as an instructor. But then I ended up in the airline because of Benazir Bhutto. Yes. Because she had taken over as the Prime Minister, first Prime Minister, female Prime Minister of Pakistan, and basically she was very helpful in how I joined the airline. I think I was very lucky as far as my career was concerned, because when I learned to fly, I got my license in 1989, and in 1990 I was in the airline. And that was like a year before, in 1989, women pilots were allowed in PIA. Before that, there were no women pilots in the airline. So I had a very good timing. I don't think they got a chance, but they were kind of not too happy with me. As they'd seen me for 14-15 years, just being at home and being a mother and being a housewife, and suddenly I take off and take this very highly professional job. They were kind of, oh, what's wrong with her?
Yeah, it was like very cool to have a mother who's flying, and then for me as a girl, I guess all my friends were like, oh my God, you know, it's her mother, she's a pilot. So that aspect as well, I got to experience that. They wanted to meet her, like all throughout my friends would want to meet her, and they'd be like, oh, you know, your mother flies, and oh wow, so the wow factor was always there. Yeah.
It's so encouraging to hear that, Asma. My sister, my eldest sister, she was very concerned about me because I got married at a young age. So she always wanted me to do something, have a career, do something for myself. And it just happened that, you know, I learned to fly, and I was very lucky to get a chance to fly in our PIA, in the national airline.
For my, I guess, I always saw my mother was also working and my father was also working, so I was also going to work. That was not a question, right? And yeah, then the college that I went to, an all-girls college, we were like actually trained to pretty much go and make secure ourselves, and they taught us how to go and seek jobs and how to actually land the job of your dream job. So we were trained very early on. So I went to college when I was 17, and when I graduated a year earlier, I graduated early, but I was 20 only, and I knew how to get a job even at that time. But for me to have a career was second nature, because obviously both my parents were always working, right? So I had to also work.
Discipline in life, and good time management. I think you have to be a good manager in every aspect of your life. You have to manage your life properly. You have to manage the time properly. So basically, I was a disciplined. I am still a disciplined person. Basically, to have a time. Basically, it's to have a good plan for the day, and how to take care of the children. Now, when the children come home from school, this is all that I'm supposed to do while they are gone, to achieve certain targets, even at home in your normal daily life. Then you have to have it in your mind that this is, by the end of the day, this is what you want to achieve, and all this has to be done, and put it on the side, and you have to be sorted out in the mind, basically.
I have learned that one needs to really wake up early if you really have to accomplish things. There's a certain time, and I would love to wake up at dawn. I wake up a little bit after, like between 7 and 7:30, but if I could push that back to 5:30, I think I would accomplish so much more, because by the time at the crack of dawn, when you wake up and your mind is totally clear and you set an intention that you want to accomplish XYZ during the day, and you're able to do that earlier on in the day. And yeah, I think waking up early would be the best thing I could do. I would say I'm very dedicated to what I do, like resilience. I don't ever give up on myself. I mean, there's nothing that's going to come in the way of me being able to accomplish my goal. Like nothing would come in the way. I know I will get there because I have this resilience. I'm just going to bounce back from whatever, and it doesn't, I'm not trying to say, I'm talking about resilience, meaning that I have hit low in my life, very, very low, but I have always gotten back up, and I have pulled myself together, and I have excelled. So that is something that I've learned from my mother, that you really have to get it right and don't feel sorry for yourself. You have to make things happen, not for you, but for your kids. And to make things happen for your kids, you have to pull yourself together first. And my mother would always tell me when I was younger, one thing that I learned from her was that I was always very negative. I would walk into a store and I'd say, I am not going to find anything in this store. And I would never find anything in the store. And then I would say, but you found all those things, now give those all to me. So basically I learned that that wasn't going to get me anywhere in life. This negative attitude about, but nothing's good. So when I changed my mindset, things around me started to change. And I learned from her that she was always very positive, and she could manifest things and make things happen for herself.
Hard work. Oh, she's very hardworking.
Oh, and actually she's a perfectionist. So her being a perfectionist was very far from what I could be. I wasn't in earlier perfection because I always saw that she was a perfectionist. I was like, well, if it's not perfect, it works for me, right? That works. But in the end, it doesn't work, right? That doesn't work. You have to be a perfectionist to achieve perfection.
My mother was an artist, and my mother was very delicate, very artsy. Literature, poetry were her favorite, and I was completely opposite to my mother.
And she also used to sing.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful voice.
Mother had a beautiful voice, and she sang beautifully. Okay, it does. Firstly, for her career, she is very hardworking. So I feel that when you are a hardworking person, you can never go wrong. So that she has either inherited or she has it in her, and I would say continue your hard work. It's very important to when if you want to achieve something, you have to be hardworking and focused, and you have to have your 100% attention to that job.
I would like to tell her what I've learned for myself. I want to become a better version of myself with every passing day. There's never a time where I would say I'm my best version. I'm just going to be better and strive to achieve, become a better person in different ways. And that's what I want to her to know as well, that, she may think that she's way too cool for anybody's liking, but it's just, you're never too cool. You can always improve.
The best advice that I received from my elders for myself is a stitch in time saves nine. And I remember my grandfather would always tell us, take a thing from its place, put a thing at its place. So that is kind of ingrained in our minds, and it is so important because you don't waste your time looking for things. You have to have a place, and that is basically basic discipline. It teaches you basic discipline.
Best advice is just worry about yourself. Don't worry about others. What others are doing is completely irrelevant. And even when I compete and I see all these champions around me, I sort of try to block that out. It's irrelevant. I am going to give my best performance, and that's what matters to me.
Yes, discrimination in attitude, I would say, but not in pay, because the financial pay structure of PIA is it was the same for men and same for women. Okay, and when women were inducted in the airline, there were no special, even now there were no special seats for women. So you had to compete with the men, and same syllabus, and it's a very, very highly professional job. So basically what you need to have the same syllabus for men and women, because it's a professional job. But yes, workplace harassment, I would say, was there. But generally when I worked in the airline for 24 years, and 25 to 30 years ago, things were not the same as they've become more comfortable now. And at that time, because we were the first batch of women in the airline, there were teething problems for women, because our male colleagues were still not used to having a female sitting on the right seat. And they had a certain rapport with the cabin crew, which they had to, kind of adjustment was basically required by men, by our male colleagues, and by the women who were sitting on the right seat at that time. Well, the problem is still not resolved. Basically, when there are both the genders working in the same place, there are certain nuances, as you would say, but then it demands a very mature person or more maturity to just draw a line and stop at the line. But when that line is crossed, then obviously there are problems. So I basically had to go to court, and my case was decided in my favor even by the Supreme Court of Pakistan. But PIA has still not taken any action against the people that were my colleagues who were involved. Yes, but the courts were very, it was very encouraging, and the decisions by the court were very, very encouraging. But still, by my colleagues or by my management, the decision was not encouraging, because they pressurized me. Most of the time they were pressurizing me to withdraw my case, which I didn't. It's the hard work and the way she is catering to everybody, mashallah, her children, her husband, her home, everything, and she still manages to take out time for herself, and she is pursuing her cycling passion.
Yeah, she had this magic wand that everything would be perfect in a minute. So which I obviously can't do. Like, for me to make a place look a certain way takes a long time. I have to think about it, and before she could always have just done something. So I don't have that magic wand that she always had. So that was you can answer that.
I can answer that. She doesn't. She wants me all to herself. Okay, and I think that's how I feel about her. That she doesn't want me to be shared by anybody. She doesn't want to share me with anybody, not even the siblings.
Okay. Asma, is that true?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. There's some tussle there,